Alright, now I want to be talking about bullies. I've dealt with bullies, still dealing with bullies. It's always going to happen no matter what age you're at. I mean, of course, it's going to stop eventually. There's always going to be people who talk shit, no matter what. Now, I was bullied since I could remember, ever since elementary school. Regardless, it was because I was chubby or awkward, whatever the fuck the reason was. After a while, I did kind of learn to fight back, but at the same time, you need to do the right thing as far as being mature goes, because that is the most important thing, is being mature. It sounds so dumb when you're younger, like in middle school and high school, but these are the ways to cover your ass. Because if I had talked to the principal when I was younger, maybe I think this was like the 4th or the 5th grade, if I had told the principal that I was being bullied, I wouldn't have gotten suspended for what happened. And the situation was, they were fucking with me, pulling my hair, cursing at me, not necessarily calling me fat, but throwing curse words in there. At the time, of course, 4th grade, I'm like, that's a bad word. And at the time, of course, it's going to hurt a lot more. And I said something I shouldn't have said, and it caused me to get suspended. And of course, at the time, oh crap, I got suspended in the 4th grade. My parents are going to be so mad. My mom was furious with me. She even grounded me. But my main concern was when my dad was going to get home. And when he did, I was crying, and I told him the truth. I told him what I said to them, but I told him what they did to me. And he straight up said, "You're not grounded." And that's why I was just like, what? You know, still crying. And he's like, "You're not grounded." I'm like, oh, okay. And he told me that what I did was wrong, but at the same time, nobody should be pushed to that limit to where they say horrible things like I did. And it sucks because even when kids do speak up to the principal, when parents do put their foot down, there are still some incidents where their kid gets into fights or possibly commits suicide because the bullying has just pushed a point so far to where they feel that they can't be accepted no matter what. That's a horrible, craziest part about bullying, is that you can push somebody that far. And I highly doubt you want to be responsible for that, because if you are, you're really a heartless motherfucker. Now, I have gotten to that point before to where I felt like dying because people were fucking with me so much. But I learned to deal with it in my own way, mostly because of my father, how stubborn he was, and how he taught me to be, how to deal with bullying, and how to deal with, how to deal with myself if it came down to I had to fight. Now, I've seen fights before, of course, at school. You know who everybody is, and right away you do know if the person who's being targeted is innocent. And then you see their ass get whooped. It's horrible. Been there, done that, experienced it, seen it, and it sucks. I hate to see a person who doesn't know how to defend themselves. Of course, especially if you're at school, you do the right thing and you tell the principal. But if the fight happens, I hate to be the one to explain this to you, but I don't want to see people get hurt. If the fight happens, now if you're a guy, I would assume you already know what to do. Boys naturally know how to horse around. As far as girls are concerned, girls are very messy when it comes to fucking fights. Now, here's a tip. Before you get into a fight, you realize, what are girls concerned that you're going to hit or you're going to do first? 1, the hair. It's so common in chick fights, so obvious, I don't even need to say it. 2, punching or slapping. 3, kicking. 4, pushing. These are the obvious things that girls are going to do. Now, what she won't expect is that you're going to grab her by the middle of her bra or the center of her shirt. It's best to have a hold of the bra, because when you rip that shit off, I guarantee you, one of the two things is going to happen. 1, the fight's going to keep going, or 2, the fight's going to stop right then and there, because the girl's going to be way too embarrassed because her shit's hanging out. So that from my experience, is a very effective method. Now, the other fights I've gotten into before, I did do the right thing. As I got older, I did go to the principal first because I already knew there was a problem, and I knew better that if somebody was going to fuck with me or actually do something to harm me, I had a backup. I had the principal, and because of one incident in high school I will mention sometime later, the principal knew me through one visit. Usually it takes a couple of visits, but after that, I guess you could say I became a principal's pet a little bit. But yeah, I did the right thing, and I got into a fight. This one was in Oklahoma, and her and her friends were threatening to jump me. They did not like me for some ungodly reason, but then again, when I lived in Oklahoma, I noticed no girls liked me. Yeah. I was so different compared to them. They were still in, like, they just got a Hot Topic kind of apparel. As far as me, the raver thing was real big here in San Antonio. So here I am all decked out with my DC shoes, bracelets up to here, shoelaces in my hair, a Care Bear t-shirt, and a pair of glow sticks in my back pocket. I look like a fucking alien to them. But the boys were like, she's a city girl. So the girls didn't like me very much. But that fight that happened, I did win that fight. Fortunately, I had to let her hit me first, of course. But I got 3 days suspension. She got a week, and when she returned, she was still bruised. So, you know what to do as far as bullying goes. You know that you have to go to principal. You know that if a fight happens, you have to let them hit you first. It sucks. It really does. And even the worst part about it, you know how your parents and your teachers say, you're not going to see these people again? It is such a lie. It is such a big lie, it's not even funny. I've confronted or met some of my bullies again. And yeah, a lot of the mature ones who have grown up, like the ones from elementary school who messed with me, even some who were in high school with me, did apologize for what they did. Like, no hard feelings. You know, we were kids. We said fucked up things to each other. We treated each other like shit. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. You know, that is the mature way to approach somebody who's treated you like shit. And as far as being the bully goes, I'm gonna give you an example that happened in my own classroom once. This kid was being fucked with. He was socially awkward. He was a little weird, yes, I will admit. But another kid was fucking with him in front of the teacher, and the teacher stopped him and he says, "You know what you're doing?" He's like, "You don't do that." He's like, "One day you're going to be cleaning out somebody's pool, and you're going to realize that it's his pool, that it's his expensive house that you just walked through, that it's his nice-looking wife that you were just staring at her ass. You're going to be treating this person like shit, and when they get older, they're going to be above you, and you're going to be working below them. You're going to be working for them, hoping to work for them." So that's no way to treat somebody, ever. Now, don't get me wrong. I was not necessarily a bully myself, but I bullied the people who were fucking with me when I had finally reached my point. And this was when I was a junior and a senior. People would fuck with me, and then you know what? I'd get them back. I'm not going to get into detail of what I did to some of these people, but there were tears. They walked in the opposite direction when they saw me coming down the hall. They avoided me at all costs. And you know what? It was such a relief because you know what? I didn't have to see their fucking faces anymore. But again, it's not the mature way to go, but sometimes the real bully needs to be bullied to realize what the fuck it is that they're doing. It takes time. Again, it's a negative method, but sometimes it is effective. And again, I am making this because I hate to see that somebody's being treated like shit and not knowing how to defend themselves, not knowing how to fight back, not knowing how to cope with it. Not so much as coping, but as confidence of not giving a shit. You really can't care what people think of you. At the end of the day, you are in charge of your own feelings and how people treat you. Even if you're confident as fuck, you're still going to have problems. Like I said, this is always going to be the case no matter what. All you can do is be strong and push yourself and do things that you never thought you could do before. And when you accomplish this, when you get much older, things are going to be such a breeze for you. It's going to be so much more easier because what? You handle it the mature way when you were younger. That's the whole thing from middle school to high school. You get bullied, but you know what? It's a learning experience. It's something you're going to have to deal with. The world is a fucking huge competition, and it sucks. Believe it or not, shit is easier from elementary to high school. It's so much more easier than you think. Because when you get older, you are literally competing with everything. Not just people, but the economy, jobs, working, everything is a competition. So milk as much as you can get while you're still young. As much as it sucks being bullied, you need to learn to deal with it in the right way. You need to be strong. You need to not let yourself down or give up. Don't ever fucking give up. Don't ever give up on yourself or the people that love you. Because you know what? Your parents, they want to know that they raised you properly. They want to know that they did something right. Regardless if what you did was wrong, like hurt the person back, you're going to be a much stronger person for it. You need to be happy. You need to be confident and pushy and stubborn as fuck. Sounds like a broken record, but it's true. Now, do what you can. Try not to get bullied. Try not to bully fucking people if you can. And do your best. Be stubborn, be happy, and be confident. And remember, if you are being bullied, keep in mind one day they're going to be below you. Push yourself to do better things. Push yourself to be better than that person. Because in the end, it's about you, nobody else. Now be happy, okay? Smile.